Hey, what is up everybody? This is Rob, and this is not my 2022 Tacoma 𝗣𝗏 off-road. This is actually someone else's, not mine. And something that it does need are mudguards. So here's the thing, remember guys, I do have the OEM Toyota mudguards on my 𝗣𝗏 off-road. But today we're going to be looking at an alternative, and these are offered by Rek Gen. So these Rek Gen mudguards, they do cost about $120. They do seem to be a pretty solid product, and we're going to be comparing these to my OEM ones. We will go through the fit and finish and the install. So let's go ahead and let's jump into it. So the first thing I notice when I see these Rek Gen mud flaps are, they're pretty sturdy. I thought they would be kind of flappy, but they're actually pretty thick plastic on there. Now I'm going to get a little bit closer so you can see pretty good thickness. And look at this. Hardly any waving. I was expecting like the floppy, kind of like the ones you would see on the Subarus, the rally armor kind of stuff, but no, pretty good. So let's go ahead and we're gonna see how the OEM ones look. So check out the OEM ones over here. All right, you guys. So I do also want to mention the Rek Gen. They do install in these, OEM mounting points, same as the OEM mudguards. I will say though, just looking at them, there is one big advantage with these mudguards versus the OEM ones. So the OEM ones, I don't really like how they have this sort of scoop in effect right here. So it's not flat. So this is a pretty good point for mud to sort of collect. If you look at it, you can already see a bit of mud collecting in there. So that is definitely a nice thing to see how it's nice and smooth, nothing to collect. But it does use these same mounting points and everything. So let's go ahead and let's go over the install. Alright you guys, so before we get into the installation, there was one thing I wanted to fix. Before you guys watch the installation, you guys will see that I will be putting the longer screw with a washer and a spacer. This is wrong. Alright guys, you want to do longer screw, washer, and then you're going to put that through the mud flap hole and then put a washer on the other end. So then that way you can then put the spacer on and tighten it up, and then you won't end up having the spacer go through the mud flap hole. So guys, please keep in mind when you watch this tutorial, I did not do it correctly. So remember, you're gonna have extra washers. That is because you're basically supposed to sandwich it in between the mud guards like so, and then the spacer. All right guys, so keep that in mind when you watch this tutorial. You're gonna see I don't put on this one. That's because I actually didn't quite realize until later. So guys, please keep an eye out for that. So with that, let's go on to the install. All right you guys, so the Rek Gen mud flaps, they do come with these screws and the hardware. It's really just, guys, 3 screws on each side, as well as the washers, and then a spacer for one of these screws that are kind of sunken in the back. So pretty easy, and all you need is your 10 mil. So we're just gonna go ahead and let's remove these bolts. Perfect. A little bit tight with the socket, so that's why we're gonna go ahead and use socket wrench. Now that these stock screws are out, go ahead and use these screws. So first we're going to do the 2 on the side. Remember, you do want to make the Rek Gen logo face the back. Let's get this one in. This one in. Before we tighten it down, so remember you do need the spacer for the side. This is the only sort of tight fit. This can be the only sort of challenging part about lining everything up just right. So there is an empty screw hole here, and that is what I am putting this one through. There we go. Got it in. Go ahead and tighten these out. So the spacer is soft rubber, so you don't have to worry about cracking anything. So they do also have adjustable holes, so you can be sure to align it just right. So I'm doing up and to the side. So we're gonna go ahead and hold that right here. Tighten the sides again. Alright, so you can see everything looks good, nice and tight, and actually has a nice profile to it. So now let's go ahead and we're going to do the back. Alright you guys, back ones are the same thing, so we'll go ahead and remove these. We only removed 3 screws, even though you do need 4 screw holes. As you can see from the mats, that is because there's once again just an empty hole there. So once again guys, screw through the washer. So we're going to take the ones that we have. They do give you some extra washers. I like to get them in by hand first before I tighten them up. We're going to tighten up these ones first. Using socket wrench because it is just a little bit tight here with the tires. Alright, so this is always the only tricky one. It's because you want to get the spacer right behind the flap as you get the screw through. Let's go ahead and get this done. So what I recommend doing is you get the screw through the spacer and then just twist the screw and it will spiral on through the spacer. Then you can get it to where the screw is popping out of the other end. Like it is for me right now. And there we go. It's nice and lined up. I'm just tightening it. Tighten up these ends. All right. And they look good, you know, just tightening them up. You don't want to go too tight. Don't want to strip anything. But yeah, those will definitely hold. Everything is good and tight on them now. So they look good. So let's go ahead and let me get behind the camera, see how they look. All right, you guys, so as you can see, looks pretty good. I mean, gives it definitely a bit more of a rugged look to it. You know, when you compare them to the OEM ones, you know, they both look pretty good. The OEM ones I did get on sale for only about $50, so that's why I also was never too sad about them in case they didn't work out or I want to take them off. So check that out right there. So yeah, overall guys, you know, not bad at all. Definitely looks pretty good. I definitely recommend these if you're looking for an alternative to the OEM ones. Alright you guys, so as you saw, the Rek Gen mud flaps, really good. You know, a nice alternative to OEM if you don't want to go OEM. At $120, they are a little bit pricier than the OEM ones. They do go for about $50 to $60 if I remember correctly. So, you know, really just kind of decide which ones you want. Always a good one. Let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns, guys, with that. This is Rob, and have a good one.